Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing, where today we are back at home and we are going to be reading once again. So let's get going with continuing to read Homer's Iliad. Hail, reverend priest, to Phoebus' awful dome, a suppliant I from great Atreides come. Unransomed here receive the spotless fare, accept the hecatomb the Greeks prepare. And may thy God, who scatters darts around, atoned by sacrifice, desist to wound. At this the sire embraced the maid again, so sadly lost, so lately sought in vain. Then near the altar of the darting king, disposed in rank their hecatomb they bring. With water purify their hands, and take the sacred offering of the salted cake, while thus with arms devoutly raised in air, and solemn voice the priest directs his prayer. God of the silver bow, thy ear incline, whose power encircles Cilia the divine, whose sacred eye thy Tenedos surveys, and gilds fair Chrysa with distinguished rays. If, fired to vengeance at thy priest's request, thy direful darts inflict the raging pest, once more attend, avert the wasteful woe, and smile propitious, and unbend thy bow. So Chryses prayed, Apollo heard his prayer, and now the Greeks their hecatomb prepare. Between their horns the salted barley threw, and with their heads to heaven the victims slew. The limbs they sever from the enclosing hide, the thighs selected to the gods divide. On these in double calls involved with art, the choicest morsels lay from every part. The priest himself before his altar stands, and burns the offering with his holy hands. Pours the black wine and sees the flames aspire. The youth with instruments surround the fire. The thighs thus sacrificed and entrails dressed, the assistants part transfixed and roast the rest. Then spread the tables, the repast prepare. Each takes his seat and each receives his share. When now the rage of hunger was repressed, with pure libations they conclude the feast. The youths with wine... I've lost where I am. Sorry, I lost where I was then for a second. The youths with wine the copious goblets crowned, and pleased dispense the flowing bowls around. 69. With hymns divine the joyous banquet ends. The paeans lengthened till the sun descends. The Greeks restored, the grateful notes prolong. Apollo listens and approves the song. 'Twas night, the chiefs beside their vessel lie, till rosy morn had purpled o'er the sky. Then launch and hoist the mast, indulgent gales, supplied by Phoebus, fill the swelling sails. The milk-white canvas bellying as they blow. The parted ocean foams and roars below. Above the bounding billows swift they flew, till now the Grecian camp appeared in view. Far on the beach they haul their bark to land, the crooked keel divides the yellow sand. Then part where stretched along the winding bay, the ships and tents in mingled prospect lay. But raging still amidst his navy sat, the stern Achilles steadfast in his hate. Nor mixed in combat, nor in council joined, but wasting cares lay heavy on his mind. In his black thoughts revenge and slaughter roll, and scenes of blood rise dreadful in his soul. 12 days were past, and now the dawning light the gods had summoned to the Olympian height. Jove, first ascending from the watery bowers, leads the long order of ethereal powers. When, like the morning mist in early day, rose from the flood the daughter of the sea. And to the seats divine her flight addressed, there far apart and high above the rest. The Thunderer sat where old Olympus shrouds his 100 heads in heaven and props the clouds. Suppliant the Is it suppliant? I think it's suppliant the goddess stood. One hand she placed beneath his beard, and one his knees embraced. If e'er, O father of the gods, she said, my words could please thee or my actions aid, some marks of honour on my son bestow, and pay in glory what in life you owe. Fame is at least by heavenly promise due to life so short and now dishonoured too. Avenge this wrong, O ever just and wise. Let Greece be humbled and the Trojans rise, till the proud king and all the Achaean race shall heap with honours him they now disgrace. Thetis entreating Jupiter to honour Achilles. Thus Thetis spoke, but Jove in silence held, the sacred counsels of his breast concealed. Not so repulsed, the goddess close oppressed, still grasped his knees and urged the dear request. O sire of gods and men, thy suppliant hear. Refuse or grant for what has Jove to fear. Or, O, declare of all the powers above, is wretched Thetis least the care of Jove. She said, and sighing thus the god replies, who rolls the thunder o'er the vaulted skies. What hast thou asked? Ah, why should Jove engage in foreign contests and domestic rage, the gods' complaints and Juno's fierce alarms, while I too partial aid the Trojan arms? Go, lest the haughty partner of my sway with jealous eyes thy close access survey. But part in peace, secure thy prayer is sped. Witness the sacred honours of our head. The nod that ratifies the will divine, the faithful fixed irrevocable sign. This seals thy suit, and this fulfils thy vows. He spoke, and awful bends his sable brows. 70. Shakes his ambrosial curls and gives the nod, the stamp of fate and sanction of the god. High heaven with trembling the dread signal took, and all Olympus to the centre shook. 71. I'm not sure what these numbers are. Swift to the seas profound the goddess flies, Jove to his starry mansions in the skies. The shining synod of the immortals wait the coming god, and from their thrones of state, arising silent, wrapped in holy fear, before the majesty of heaven appear. Trembling they stand while Jove assumes the throne, all but the god's imperious queen alone. Late had she viewed the silver-footed dame, and all her passion kindled into flame. Say, artful manager of heaven, she cries, who now partakes the secrets of the skies? Thy Juno knows not the decrees of fate. In vain the partner of imperial state. What favourite goddess then those cares divides, which Jove in prudence from his consort hides? To this the Thunderer, seek not thou to find the sacred counsels of almighty mind. Involved in darkness likes the great decree, nor can the depths of fate be pierced by thee. What fits thy knowledge thou the first shalt know, the first of gods above and men below. But thou nor they shall search the thoughts that roll deep in the close recesses of my soul. And with that, we are going to come to the end of this particular episode, because I have no idea how long this next paragraph is going to be, and I don't particularly want to end it partway through a paragraph. So, excuse me. With that in mind, we are going to say, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we'll be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.